Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
And we are from the Toronto East Jamaat.
Our project is all about bacterial growth and cleanliness. We are all at home due to COVID-19. Being stuck at home is no fun, but keeping our place and environment clean is very important, as it is half of our faith and will help us stay away from this disease.
Our house is a place where utmost cleanliness should be kept, as it is a place where we live. We all know that, but how clean exactly is our house? When we stumbled upon this method of seeing how dirty our place of residence could potentially be, we decided to find out how some surfaces in our house really are dirty.
Our question is how much contact-transmitted bacteria is on our household surfaces? And our hypothesis is if bacteria is transmitted through contact, and we are the ones who have the most contact with our household surfaces, then we ourselves must be the biggest carriers of bacteria in our household, as we are touching the most things, transmitting bacteria as we do so. While doing our research, here are some questions that we came up with. Like, what types of bacteria are out there? There are over 30,000 types of bacteria. But since we are using a vegetable for testing, we researched on what type of bacteria grow on vegetables. Some types of bacteria that grow on vegetables are Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli. What is the composition of bacteria? Bacteria is another word for germs. They cannot be seen from the naked eye. Bacteria are single-celled organisms. They are a gel-like matrix composed of water, enzymes, nutrients, wastes, and gases, and contain cell structures such as ribosomes, a chromosome, and plasmids.
How does bacteria grow? Most bacteria grow best within certain ranges of temperature and have specific requirements related to their need for a proper amount of water, acid, and salt.
Why did we use a dark room? A team of researchers, including Stanford scientists, have discovered that certain single-celled infectious bacteria can tell the difference between light and dark, and actually increase their infectiousness tenfold when hit by sunlight. In dark rooms, about 12% of bacteria, on average, were able to reproduce, the researchers at the University of Oregon found. But in sunlight, only 6.8% thrived. That was down to 6.1% for bacteria exposed to UV light.
Here are some materials that we used for our experiment.
Procedure. Firstly, we cut potatoes into small circular shapes, trying to keep them evenly sized. We used sterile gloves so that we did not transmit any bacteria from our hands onto the potatoes, as that would affect our end result.
Then we rubbed a potato slice onto a chosen surface, like a phone. We repeated these with a few other surfaces, like our kitchen floor and our keyboard, and kept a separate one that was not rubbed on any surface. We then took our gloves off and rubbed one between our hands, and labeled it multiple human contact.
After rubbing the potatoes on the selected surfaces, we placed them in labeled Petri dishes. The ones rubbed on surfaces were labeled with their respective surface. For example, a slice rubbed on a phone was labeled phone.
After doing all the surfaces, we put the Petri dishes in Ziploc bags to prevent smell, and we placed them in a dark room. For day 1, we took them out of their Ziploc bags to get a clear image of any bacterial growth. From the pictures, we can't really see them, but around the size of the keyboard, phones, multiple human contact, and kitchen floor surfaces, we could see a very, very minor amount of bacterial growth.
For the other surfaces, there was the same amount of bacterial growth, but it was growing in through the middle. The slice that shows the most change is the kitchen floor slice, which is showing the most bacterial growth. The multiple human contact slice surprisingly has a very small amount of bacteria growing to one side. Similarly, the front door handle slice is also rather clean, except for a bit of bacterial growth happening to one side. All remaining slices showed similar results, with small amounts of bacterial growth scattered over the surface of the slices or to one side. Knowing what parts of our home have the most germs and bacteria enables us to know what we need to clean more often. While some people may neglect cleaning the floors of their house, this experiment demonstrates that it is actually important to do so on a regular basis.
Jazakallah for listening. We hope you enjoyed our presentation and that this presentation encourages cleanliness.